Welcome, everybody. It's Wakenda Rose, Intuitive Love Guide. And I'm here to support a little bit today in the process of having the best sex life of your life while you might be in your single season. All right, so why would I say that? How could I have the best sex of my life while I'm single? Knowing that usually sex requires two people. All right. Well, why having sex or getting the best sex of your life happens when you're single is because you actually get this time to really go within and explore every aspect of your sexuality and sexual makeup and sexual body. One of the things that I hear from clients that are single and couples that I work with is the challenge of speaking the same sexual love language and how to support each other in being able to do that. And there's really usually one common denominator to this conversation. And typically with women, it's that women usually don't know what their body likes, what they want, and also how to communicate that effectively. All right. So, this time while you're in the single season is a really great time for you to begin to learn and explore everything about your own body so that you know how it works, how it ticks, what it needs, what it likes, and most importantly, what it doesn't like, what it's not interested in, and having boundaries and clarity around that. So, most of us, especially women, we're not brought up with, actually, I'm going to take that back. Women and men really, we're not brought up with healthy sexual education. Back in the day, excuse me, sex was rarely even talked about. And then with the introduction of pornography, a lot of us have learned, especially younger generations now, with easy access to pornography on phones, have learned a lot of misinformation and misguidance through pornography. So, a lot of the work that I do is to help support clients to decondition any old programming that they've had around sexuality that maybe they've learned in unhealthy ways. And then also help to educate in ways that maybe they've never been taught before. And so, again and again, I see that it's very basic that most people just have not had good access to healthy sexual education. And I'm not talking about the sexual education that you got in the fifth or sixth grade, and maybe you had your teacher show you the anatomy. I'm actually talking about what it is that actually pleases both man and woman and how to communicate that in a beautiful, sensual, sacred, devotional, love making way. To my knowledge, there is nothing out there mainstream in the world that shows healthy sex and healthy lovemaking. In Hollywood, we usually have typical fast paced, you know, lovemaking sex where the woman usually orgasms very quickly and maybe with her back up against a wall. I mean, I don't know about you, but as a woman, that's never happened to me in my life. Or we might have seen a lot of porn where a lot of men are very conditioned to thinking what it is that a woman might like in the bedroom. And maybe that requires a lot of positions and a lot of fast paced movements and a lot of going right towards the genitalia without ever actually taking a moment to check in with the heart and touch the body in intimate ways long before our sexual genitalia is ready to come on board for this experience. So it's no wonder that while we're in relationship, it can be really challenging to understand how our body ticks and how to communicate with our needs with our partners when we've never been told that that's really okay, and nor given proper education around what that really could look like. So, when you're in the single season, this is a beautiful opportunity to really go within and get to explore not just your body, but your senses and how the things that make you tick and make you turn on. This is a unique experience for everyone. Everyone ticks a little bit different. For some people, they might be very visual, and other people, they might be very, very sensual. And for some people, they might have a little bit more of like a erotic kink to them, and they like to think about like role playing or things like this. Or perhaps, it's the anticipation of sex that turns you on long before ever coming into the bedroom. Or maybe it's just being safe and secure and held in a devotional way. So when we're single, we can really start to explore this with ourselves. When we're with another partner, it can be challenging to really speak those needs. We have a lot of fear around sex, and we kind of understand sex in these very, very basic ways. So I want to invite you into really having an opportunity of the single season to get to explore your body, get to know what you want, and get to be able to hopefully share that with a future partner. One thing that I know from working with so many men over these last few years or last several years is their deepest desire is to please women. Unfortunately, they've just never learned how to do that. They've had very bad examples, role models that have inaccurately shared what they think a woman wants. You know how it goes. You think a man, they're trying to get you off, and meanwhile, you're like, yeah, you haven't even checked in over here. What's happening with me? Right? You know what I'm saying? So we're oftentimes not speaking the same language. And I hear women all of the time not having understood their own body. They have no idea what's happening, and not just to their genital parts, but to the rest of their parts. What do they like and what do they don't like? And again, being able to effectively communicate that. So, I want to invite you during the season to really make self pleasure an important part of your life during this time, whether you're in a relationship or not. It's a great opportunity to always spend time with yourself so that you can be able to communicate with your partner. And when I say spend time with yourself in self pleasure, I don't actually mean masturbation as we know it. A lot of us as women have been conditioned to think that it's just about masturbation, and that as long as we can maybe give ourselves a clitoral orgasm, we know what we're doing with our body. And that's just a little bit of the story. Sure, that can be great, but self pleasure actually goes beyond just having a simple orgasm with self. In fact, self pleasure is the practice of deeply honoring our bodies, deeply exploring the sweetness of our bodies, and giving that to ourselves. As women, we have a very, very special innate quality to ourselves. We are actually more in tune with sexuality than we've ever been given credit for. It's actually our nature to be extremely sensual, sexual beings. A lot of us have just turned it off over the years. It's been shamed, it's been closeted, it's been controlled because we've feared it. Oftentimes the world has feared it, men have feared it. So this is a great time to really get into your body and check out, what do I really love? What would make me tick? One of the best ways to consider it is maybe first just start by writing and maybe closing your eyes and start to imagine what it is that you would really love a partner to do to you or share with you. Women were often really engaged in those romance novels or romantic movies because sex is more than just genital sex for us, right? There might be in a time and a place for a good quickie on any occasion, but most of us really long to be touched in so many other ways. And then we find ourselves in the bedroom with another man and we're wondering, what the heck happened? None of this is matching my fantasy. So I invite you into this time to imagine what it would be like to be with someone that treated your body in a devotional and loving way. And begin to maybe just imagine that person is with you and beginning to just touch your body in the ways that you would love to be touched. Maybe you become that person yourself in your mind's eye. You can envision what it would be like to be held and loved by this person. And maybe you just start to feel it first on other parts of your body before you move into sex parts. And eventually get to check in with yourself around how you like to be touched in ways that turn you on. And see how long that might take for you. There's a big misnomer in our world that women should be ready and available for sex right away. In this video, I just want to share one important little tidbit of truth and myth that is out there that is scientifically proven, is that it takes a minimum of 20 minutes for a woman to reach arousal. We are actually made of water, and versus where men actually are more dominated by heat, and so they heat up very fast. And so the process is really around supporting the feminine, the female, to take time in helping her to become to a boiling point when she can receive love in a deep, intimate way that feels amazing. So, but this practice is really key when you start to do it with yourself. And the more and more you experience the self pleasure for yourself, the more and more your body starts to know what that is. It understands what it likes. So then when you enter into a relationship, you know just how to guide that partner into what you like. Now, I know a lot of you are probably saying, no way, I'll never meet a man that's like the guy in the romance novel or the romantic comedy. And that might be true, but this is where you have a superpower, women, where you actually have the ability to be able to lead and guide the masculine to touch you in ways that make you feel good. And the reason that I know this to be true is because I've worked with so many men. They just long to please you. And oftentimes they've just never been guided to in a way that is open and fun and joyful. And so they resort to their own misinformation and share that with you. And we all know how that goes. All right. So I hope this video is inspiring you to take a little bit of time to yourself to get to know your body. If you need support within knowing the intricacies of your body and how to help turn yourself on in all ways, then I'd love to support and help you out. All right, I'll look forward to chatting with you next time. Many blessings.